And happy Yuletide greetings. Tonight is the longest night of the year. It's when our grandmother Crone, who rules the winter, our dark goddess, our goddess of winter, goddess of death, goddess of magic, goddess of wisdom. She rules the winter, and this is her most powerful night. This is the longest night of the year when she's at her full powers. So tonight, I'm going to honor her. I'm going to tap into what's powerful about her that can also be powerful within me. I'm going to give her her due over the night on this very long night. And then tomorrow, she begins to diminish a little bit. She begins to move over. She begins to give room to the newborn king. She begins to give room to the light. She begins to give room and make way for the goddess of dawn that's going to come in the spring. But still, she has precedence. This is her season. This is her time. And yesterday was what our European ancestors used to celebrate as Mother's Night or Modranicht, and it has a few other names and ways to pronounce that. But our Germanic ancestors celebrated that night, which the historian Bede did write about in his writings. He talked about, with a little bit of chagrin, how they would celebrate the Mother's Night the night before the Christ Mass, or when they celebrated Christmas. And back then they had Christmas around solstice, not on the 25th. So yesterday evening was the night to honor your clan mothers, your ancestral clan mothers of Europe, your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmothers, your aunts that had a strong influence on you, all the way back into history, all of your clan mothers and grandmothers who made you are what you are today, whose wisdom you literally carry in your cells, in the cells of your body. You carry their wisdom. In your blood, you carry their wisdom. Through time, you carry their wisdom, and you can access it if you believe in that and if you try to access it. And that is what I did last night. And tonight, I will be giving honor to our dark grandmother Crone. She has many names in the Celtic tradition. They might think of her as the Cailleach. You know, she was the old grandmother who controlled winter and who could, cause death and destruction for people or not, depending. There are many names for the grandmother crone. There are many traditions about this, but it doesn't matter what you call her. She is who she is, and this is her most powerful night. And so the things that she had rulership of or has rulership of are prophecy, divination, wisdom, magical wisdom. She also has the power to destroy enemies. So all of these things come into play here, and it's a good time to tap into what feminine wisdom do you need? What are you lacking? What are you not tapped into? It's a very good time to do your meditations and try to experience that and bring that into your consciousness. And then as the night goes on, I will be burning a black candle representing the night, representing the grandmother crone and her dark times here in the winter. And as I said, she has precedent over this long night. This is the longest night where she is at her most powerful. But even though the sun is returning, and that's what solstice is all about, we're welcoming the return of longer days and the return of a promise of spring. It's like the promise that spring is coming when when the days start to get a little bit longer. It's like we've made it halfway through the winter and we just have another couple months to go and we'll be back to easier times again. But keep in mind, this is still the grandmother's time. This is still the dark goddess's season. This is still the Queen of Winter's season. She still rules until the spring. So we will continue to honor her and think about those kind of things. One of the other things I will be doing this evening is I will be kind of doing some cleansings and working on letting go of some negativity that's built up over the winter so far. And this is a really good time to do this as we tradition from, shorter days to longer. It's a good time to sweep away those things that we don't need anymore or things that have really come into sharp focus here over November and December that maybe aren't the best for us. Or maybe our energy, maybe our aura and just our energy field is clogged up and it needs to be cleaned. It needs to be brushed. It needs to be purified with some juniper branches, which is what our ancestors used to use oftentimes. They would burn juniper. Perhaps that is what needs to be done. It's a time to give offerings. It's a time to give offerings to Woden, who is we're going into Yule. Many people start Yule at this time. They consider this Yule. Now, many traditional practitioners of the old ways don't consider this Yule. They consider this solstice, not Yule. I've heard many arguments. There are so many arguments about this. I've seen some pretty good arguments that it's okay to celebrate Yule right now. Or in what I like to do is to just start, because Yule to me is a season. It's a whole season with very important things. We started with the first moon in December, which the Anglo-Saxons used to call before Yule. That was like the first Yule moon was December. Okay, so it kind of starts then, and then we have the solstice. And then traditionally, many practitioners of Odinism or the old ways, the Germanic old ways, consider actual Yule to be the first full moon after the first new moon after solstice. So I do believe this year that's going to be in early February. Oftentimes it lands in January, and for me, I feel like it's just the best for me as an American in modern times to kind of kick off Yule with the solstice and then end the Yule celebration with the first full moon in January. And that's the way I'll be doing it. Um, but I'm going to be giving offerings. I'm going to begin to start the offerings to Woden, the Allfather, my ancestral Allfather. I will be giving offerings to Odin during solstice, but this won't be the only time, and I will be giving them on the full moon in January as well. So this is the time that Odin starts his wild hunt. This is the time the wild hunt starts. I will be making offerings. At the same time, I'll be cognizant of the fact that grandmother Crone still rules the season, and she does. So I hope everybody, I hope everybody thinks about something else too, which is as we honor the light returning, one of the most important things to think about is drawing the light from within yourself. Because one thing people struggle with in the winter is depression. I know without light, me and a lot of other people get seasonal depression. For me, I have to wear like a light visor or I have to go to a tanning bed for a few minutes a couple times during the winter just to kind of, bump my mood back up. So the solstice is a promise. When the sun starts to return, it's a seed of the promise of warmer days to come and brighter sunny skies. And it also means emotionally too. This is a great time to try to look into yourself and bring out your own positive qualities. Look for that, optimism within yourself. Try to be more positive inwardly and outwardly. Try to be kind to yourself and try to give yourself pep talks and acknowledge that even though, things may be difficult right now, everything is cyclical, everything runs in cycles. This is the cycle of darkness, and the light is returning, and it's only going to get stronger. So work from that level that no matter what you are going through right now, the sun always returns. The light always returns, and it will for you too in your personal life as well. I hope everyone has a beautiful solstice, and I hope your Yuletide is filled with good things and happy celebrations.